Hi everybody, I'm Lisa, your office admin. This is my son Declan and my son Wesley, and we're here to tell you what we're thankful for this year. Declan, what are you thankful for?
Hi, my name is Declan. I'm going to tell you what I'm thankful for. I am thankful for music, singing, and dance.
And this is Wesley. Wesley, what are you thankful for?
Belly Lego.
Building Legos and also Smarties, right? And I'm thankful that even though this has been a difficult year, we'll be able to be together for Thanksgiving, the four of us. And I'm thankful that my husband Brad was able to find a job after several months of being laid off. And I'm thankful that these two have become such good friends during the pandemic. Bye everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Hi there. I know this year has been crazy and things don't necessarily feel like we think they should, but I am still so incredibly thankful this Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for all of the blessings God has put in my life. Thankful for family, friends who are like family. That includes you, my church family. I'm thankful for the small blessings in each day, like getting to spend more time with my kids, having a new puppy to keep us on our toes and bring energy to this family. I'm thankful that our basic needs are being met. I miss you, and I look forward to the day when we can see each other again in person. But in the meantime, I pray that you feel God's love in your life and have a healthy and peaceful Thanksgiving. Bye-bye.
Happy Thanksgiving. Those words seem a little challenging this year, especially when I know so many people have been struggling. But it reminds me of a song I learned when I was a kid. When upon life's billows you are tempest tossed, when you feel discouraged thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord has done. And that's the truth. When we spend time reflecting on the blessings we have in our life, that list becomes pretty long. You know, during this time, many of us have had struggles and we've all experienced some sense of loss in one form or another. I'm also mindful of my family and my friends and the blessings they have been to my life, and you in particular, Christ the King Lutheran Church. When I moved here 13 years ago, I knew no one except for my aunt and uncle in Port Townsend, who I could only see occasionally. But you took me in as part of your church family, and in turn, you became my family in a very real way. I'm also mindful that throughout this ordeal, you've been able to keep me employed. Some of my colleagues, both in clergy and in church music, have not been so fortunate. So thank you. When that voice of worry has been screaming in my ear, causing me panic about the future, another voice has come to the rescue, one that says, "Peace, be still. Be still and know that I am God." And that voice reminds me that that is fear talking, not faith. If you're anything like me, you grew up in the church, building your faith. And it's in times like these that our faith carries us through. And we have a faith that God will carry us through everything, because God always has. So, thinking about all the blessings in my life this year, even despite the many things that are going wrong in this world, I can say with a very full heart that I am grateful. And I wish for you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Hello. Today, as we contemplate the reasons to celebrate, we always give thanks. This year, it may be a different kind of a celebration. We won't be able to gather as we used to at Christ the King Lutheran Church. And the number of people around the dining room table might be a little fewer than they have been in the past. And we'll pay attention to health in a more determined way this year. But we will still celebrate, for there are things to give thanks for. Let me begin with some of the obvious ones. I give thanks for my family, that I have one who is healthy and able to get together when we can. We do wish, of course, that it were easier to see the granddaughters, but that day will come as well. I give thanks for my home. There is a place that is home, that even though I have traveled many miles in my work as an interim pastor and actually lived in many different states and different countries, home is an important place, and I am thankful that I have one here. I also give thanks for work, not just the fact that my job has continued through these days, because we know that for many people, they have lost that sense of employment. But my work gives me a sense of a purpose in life, and for that I give thanks. I also give thanks for my health, that we have managed to go this far without anyone becoming sick. If you might remember, last year there were times when I was feeling stiff and unable to function as I once did. That has been resolved, and I give thanks each day that I am able to get around as I do. One thing to particularly note at this time is that even though as I record this, the election is still not completed yet, I give thanks that I live in this nation. I don't think there's a better one on the face of the earth that has resources to continually work towards a more perfect union. We are certainly not perfect, and we know the places where work needs to be done. But I am convinced that we have within us the tools and the resources to continue to develop ourselves as a nation, and that we might continue to find our place in history as a true blessing in the world. We do this not because of who we are, but because of how God has indeed blessed us. And for that we give thanks, just as the Pilgrims did back in 1620 when they found themselves and finally at land. One of the things, though, that I really want to emphasize in this short message is how blessed I have been to have work at Christ the King. Let me begin with the staff who has always been there and offering their gifts and their unique and talents. Whatever it is that I seem to need, someone is able to help me find it or provide it. Melissa and Michael have been with me this entire time. It began with Carrie, who was a true joy to come in and work with when she was just a few feet away, and we would enjoy a few laughs and chuckles along the way. Carrie has now moved on, and we are thankful for that as well, that she is continuing in her own life's and journey, and we will continue to pray for her. Her place has been filled by Lisa at a very difficult time, when even working from home, she is unable to do wonderful and amazing things. And I know that, that even when this pandemic comes to an end, that she will continue to be a real benefit to anyone who comes to Christ the King, particularly the next pastor. Beyond that, I have worked with amazing people, with those who have stepped up to provide places of leadership, those who have served on the council, the one back in 2019, and now this year, and now as we look forward to the year to come, another fine group of people will be there. And they do their tasks with joy and enthusiasm, knowing that their work is important as well. But I've also had the opportunity to work with the call committee and the transition team as they have done that essential work that takes place during a transition, the work of preparing the congregation and the search for a pastor who will lead Christ the King in its next chapter in its journey. They have been skillful. They have brought their best abilities and talents to the tasks at hand, and it has been a joy to work with them. Beyond that, there are people who just find places and things to do, so they are involved in all kinds of things. And they do it too with a sense of joy and purpose and thanksgiving, for which I give thanks as well. They have served in things like community kitchen. They have served in things like the crop walk, or perhaps in other kinds of educational events, things that provide some of that essential life here at Christ the King. And even though the restrictions upon us have changed that, much of that work still continues. I also give thanks for those who just are members here at Christ the King, who greet one another on a Sunday morning with a warm handshake and a smile. It is indeed a wonderful place, and you know how to both be welcoming to yourselves, but also welcoming to those who come through the door. There are others who are not directly connected to Christ the King that I also give thanks for. I have a team of colleagues that I have enjoyed meeting each week for text study as we get into the work of an opening the scriptures. And even now, while it is done on Zoom, it still becomes a resource for me as I do my work. There are many others who I've met around the area in different ways, in different places, those who have come in to use our facility as a meeting place. All of these have brought their own sense of and joy in being here, sometimes even in difficult situations. And for that we give thanks. We also give thanks, of course, for the friends that we know, those who notice us now, particularly as I spend an hour outside on a Sunday morning as people drive through. Many people walk by, and they are walking their dogs or just out for a jog or something like that. They know that Christ the King is here, and we give thanks that we are here, and that they see that we are still in operation. I also want to mention my thanks for you. These are difficult days. am being forced to watch myself, and even though I call myself a TV preacher now, I don't enjoy watching myself. I really don't. But I do enjoy the task of preaching and leading worship, because in that, I find a sermon for myself before I find it for you. And I find that in leading worship, that I myself find a benefit. I particularly want to thank those who have, in some small way, have made it known that you are seeing what we do, and that you appreciate the work that goes into it. These are just some of the things for which I am thankful for at this time. We continue to hope and pray, even while we give thanks, that things will continue to improve. The good news of vaccines has come to us, and we are thankful for those who have done their work in research and development and testing, all of those who are still working on the front lines in healthcare to keep people healthy, even if it is not COVID that they deal with. That always seems to be in the background, and so things have changed. But we hope and pray that soon all will be well. Have a good Thanksgiving, and may you find time too to stop and think and give thanks. As the psalmist says, it's a good thing to give thanks to the Lord. Goodbye.